So I'd like to welcome you all to this County of Newell Municipal Planning Commission for April the 20th. I see we have guests. I'm going to call this meeting to order, by the way. We have guests in the audience, so I would like to have us do a round of introductions, and we'll start with Lynette.
Division 3, Lynette Kopp, that's the Millicent Patricia area.
Good morning and welcome. Dan Short from Division 1, Rolling Hills.
Good morning, Adina Scandrip, Division 2, Tilly area.
Morning, Holly Johnson, Division 4, Scandia, Rainier, and Bow City.
Welcome, Matt Fensky, County Administrator.
Good morning, Arno Dirksen, Division 9, the Gym area.
Good morning. I'm MPC Chair this morning, and I'm Kelly Chrisman from the west side of the county, Division 6.
Hi, I'm Greg Screever, Councillor Division 5, Lake Newell Resort and Castles.
Good morning, Ellen Unra, and I represent the people around the village of Rosemary.
Good morning, Amanda Philpott, Division 8, Duchess.
Neil Johnson, Division 10, Brooks.
Okay, we'll go over to Cheryl, and Maria, if you would help me pass the mic when we get past you, that would be great. Cheryl.
Good morning, Cheryl Page, Planning and Development Administrative Assistant.
Good morning, Sandra Stanway, Brooks Bulletin.
Morning, Shanna Lee, Development Officer. Hello, I'm Maria Jackson, the Supervisor of Planning and Development. And I'll pass this around for you.
I'm Darcy Hampstein from Rolling Hills, President of the Ag Society.
Harold Stell, resident of Tilly and taxpayer. Should be a couple more people coming too.
That's great, thank you, and welcome. And I'll also welcome any of the visitors that are tuning in online. So we'll go to our agenda. I see no reason to excuse everybody is present here this morning. Minutes. Minutes from our April 6th meeting. How do you wish to handle them? Lynette.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
Sure. Any further discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, I'll ask all in favor of that motion. That is carried. The post-agenda items, is there any reason to add an item to the agenda? Seeing none, adoption of the agenda then, please. Amanda. Amanda moves adoption of the agenda. Thank you. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. 6.1, subdivisions. Maria?
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. This subdivision application is to subdivide Plan 9811171 Block 1 Lot 2 into two parcels, one being 35 hectares and the other 64.7 hectares in size. The proposed subdivision is in Division 1, 8 kilometers north of the hamlet of Rolling Hills and directly adjacent to Highway 875. The subdivision is for agricultural purposes, and there are no non-agricultural related developments on the parcel. There is legal access to parcels from a road allowance to the north of the quarter and from Highway 875. The applicant has indicated that an access easement will be registered on title to maintain physical access to all parcels. So currently the approach is right at the where the proposed division between the two parcels is. That access is also used for this subdivided parcel out already. So the access easement will run so that there is access to this parcel off the highway. There were no comments from adjacent landowners, and we did receive a letter from Alberta Transportation, and the letter has been attached to the package. The Alberta Transportation has some regulations in the matters related to subdivision and development. Part of that is requirements in relation to distances from a highway. Section 19 deals with service roads. So in this case, because of the proximity to 875, Alberta Transportation would like a caveat registered on the property so that in the event that a service road is required, that they can take 30 meters adjacent to that location for a potential service road. So the letter did originally say they wanted that road built and a plan created. I did speak to Alberta Transportation and they said that a dedication in this case is sufficient because it is only an agricultural subdivision. So it is the recommendation of administration that MPC approve this subdivision for plan, pardon me, 9811171, block 1, lot 2 in 2 parcels, with the conditions that all outstanding property taxes be paid, that a development agreement be entered into should municipal services require that, any utility right-of-ways, easements, or agreements be registered at the time of finalization, and to satisfy section 19 of the subdivision and development regulations, a 30-meter service road be dedicated by way of caveat on the property. That's it.
Thank you, Maria. And just before Dan, Cheryl, please indicate in the minutes that Councillor Johnson has removed herself from the meeting due to due to pecuniary interests. Thank you. Dan, you had a question?
Yeah, could you explain just a little bit again how this will affect that other parcel there, the Oasis Manufacturing, with regards to the easement for access? It won't affect them. They will have an easement. Is that right?
Maria.
That's correct. This is Oasis Trailer Manufacturing. They currently access their parcel through this landowner's parcel, and this landowner has given them the ability via an easement to access. Registering another easement for access to the northeast will have no effect on access to that current parcel.
Any other questions of MPC? How would you like to proceed? Go ahead, Neil.
I'd like to move that we approve this subdivision. It looks pretty good to me.
Okay. Any further questions, comments, concerns? I'll call the question. All in favor of Neil's motion? That is carried. Lynette, would you like to go out and indicate to Councillor Johnson to welcome her back? We will move along our agenda. 6.2.
Thank you.
Maria.
This is subdivision application 2023-0-004. The proposal is to subdivide plan 2111763, block 5, lot 27 into 2 parcels, approximately 0.31 acres and 0.435 acres in size. This proposed subdivision is located in Sandpiper Estates at Lake Knoll Resort. The original lots 13 and 14 were consolidated in 2021. The owner of the property would now like to split the lots into 2 separate parcels. So what was 2 became 1, and now he would like it to be 2 again. The proposed property line will be about half a meter northwest of the original lot corner, but the services to each lot will not be affected by that property adjustment. So there are 2 water services and 2 sewer services to the lots. So each proposed lot would still be serviced. Each proposed lot exceeds the minimum lot size requirements in the residential hamlet district of the land use bylaw. We did circulate to adjacent landowners and affected parties. We did get some calls from adjacent landowners, just requests for clarification, and there were no formal objections obtained by the county. So it is recommended that MPC approve this subdivision with conditions that all outstanding property taxes be paid, that a development agreement be entered into should municipal services require that, and that the applicant supplies any utility right-of-ways, easements, or agreements prior to the finalization. Also, municipal reserve is not applicable as it was dealt with at the time of the original subdivision.
Okay, so just a change of mind, basically, of the owner. Any for Lynette?
I'm just curious, what do we charge for somebody changing their mind, subdividing, unsubdividing, etc.?
Maria.
Well, a consolidation does not require municipal approval. So a landowner just needs to contact an Alberta land surveyor and they can consolidate parcels. So I suppose there was a subdivision fee paid at the time of original subdivision, and now the subdivision fee was paid again, and the surveying fees become applicable again.
All borne by the ratepayer, I would suspect, yes. Thank you. Are there any other questions of this application? Go ahead, Greg.
I'd like to move this subdivision.
As approved?
As approved.
Thank you. Any further questions? All in favor of Greg's motion? That is carried. Development permits, 7.1, Shanna Lee.
Thank you. Development permit 2023016 is for the approval of the existing 27 site campground and the installation of 8 new sites in the hamlet of Rolling Hills. The campground has been in operation since approximately 1950, according to the caretakers, but it does not have a development permit. The campground has 27 campsites. As I said, the new 8 will make a total of 35 campsites. The land use bylaw states that campgrounds shall not be used for year-round recreational storage. Currently, there's 9 RVs that stay on the parcel year-round. The applicant would like a variance of this requirement to allow these RVs to stay on the parcel. There will be no additional structures added. The land use bylaw also states that there needs to be a road, an interior road to the RVs, or to the RV parking. They would like a variance to this as well. The campsites will have water service from the hamlet and power. There are showers and septic services at the Rolling Hills Recreation Center that is available to campers. We're recommending approval of this permit with the variance to the year-round storage and a variance to the interior road. And the applicant, Mr. Hemsing, is here to answer questions.
Thank you. My question, first off, is have we, as the county, looked into squatters' rights? Because if we approve this with the variance, we are approving these trailers to squat, and there are squatters' rights out there. So I'm just throwing it out there. Is it worth looking into? Neil.
Yeah, I've got a question on those 9. Are they permanent campsites? Because it kind of takes 9 sites away from a campground, and a year-round for free is a pretty sweet deal.
Can you just repeat that?
Mr. Hemsing, go ahead.
How did the 9 permanent, they're basically permanent sites, right?
Yes.
How did that ever happen? Or I don't really think that's right in a public campground.
Your mic is off, sir.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm not sure on that, Neil, how that ever transpired, how they end up just leaving them there. I guess it's just like a lot of other sites around. You're starting to see more and more people just leave them yearly round and charge a yearly fee for them.
Mm-hmm. Neil,
Correct.
your mic is off.
They do pay a yearly fee?
Yes, they do. They pay, I think it's $150 to leave it there.
A year or a month?
That's for it's basically 6 months of camping, and then there's 6 months that they leave them there over the winter.
For $150
for storage, yeah. So.
That's a really sweet deal.
Holly?
So I actually don't think it's a good idea, and here's my reason why. Because Scandia has done this for a while, and now Scandia's having huge problems. So, for example, they're trying to get everybody out who's not staying there. One guy's living in Nova Scotia and he's not paying. One guy's in Calgary, he's not responding to emails, and the park's going, what do we do with these campers? So it sounded really good when it started to have people, you know, kind of leave the campers. Now, probably policy, they have to come and winter camp or they can't stay. Just the idea sounds really good, but we're really seeing in Scandia is starting to being abuses of it. People are bringing and leaving boats, they're leaving utility trailers, like it's expanding. And it's not what was intended. So in terms of what the county wants to see, I don't know if we really want to see storages in all the campgrounds, be that Bow City, Scandia, Rolling Hills. I don't know where all the campgrounds are in the county, but Tilly, if this is a good idea we want to pursue or not.
And further to that line of thinking, that is why the EID put their policy in place, that all trailers have to be removed for the winter months. And there's legal reasons as well. If somebody goes in and trashes the trailer, that can be brought back to the landowner. So I just need some attention from our county staff to check out our liability and the Ag Society's liability maybe around these year-round folks. And I brought it up again, you know, before with the Scandia people as well. So I think it's something we need to check into before we permit it, because then we're on the hook. And we are ultimately on the hook anyway, because it is county property, land titles, I believe. So, MPC, Mr. Hemsing.
So are you, I guess the question I have is, right now we've changed from, we were requesting the money to add more sites to all of a sudden now the permanent sites. We're actually dealing with two separate questions, aren't we?
It's actually all in one motion here. So that's the cautionary tale there, yeah.
Because that's where I'm confused, is where the request is for the others. Now, as for the stable ones, then we got to go back to all the other campgrounds in the county and go through all them, correct?
Yep, that's if we find that there's an issue with it. So I would like to see, personally, I would like to see that condition or that part of the approval removed until staff looks into it for us and brings back the information that I need. Dan? And then Neil, I saw your hand.
Could we, would it not be possible to approve the entire thing as it's requested, with exception to the variance request?
That's what I'm suggesting.
Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't so clear.
Right.
Yeah.
That way you get your extra sites.
Yeah.
And once we get more information on maybe a better, what a contract would look like, what kind of legal requirements there would be for squatters' rights, then we could approve a request for variance at a later date. But otherwise, you would get fully approved.
Be able
for what
to
you're
get
asking.
to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neil, and then Matt?
Yeah, Dan pretty well said everything I wanted to say. I think it's great you're doing the campsites. We're short of campsites, but
Yeah.
are you guys okay with, I'm really not in favor of those 9 trailers sitting there all year long. Like, they got to go.
Okay, so it sounds like we're all saying the same thing, just differently. Matt?
To the chair's question regarding adverse possession or squatters' rights in Alberta, December 15th, 2022, the Property Rights Statutes Amendment Act came into effect and abolished adverse possession claims, otherwise known as squatters' rights. So should not be an issue for you. Provincial legislation's in place that did away with that.
Okay. Quick answer to our question, Holly.
I would move approval of this with the removal of number D in conditions.
Okay. And that is how the conversation went. And that is in line with EID policy, which, you know, is our largest campground operator in the county of Newell. So, Neil?
Does your motion mean that the trailers have to be removed or just?
Well, actually, yeah, that's interesting. No, I don't think that's right what I said, because D says that the number of RVs stored in the parcel year doesn't exceed 9. So that's not right, sorry. I'm not sure how I would write that, Maria, that maybe Shanalee can help.
Go ahead, Shanalee.
Can I change the motion, the recommended motion to approve the eight more campsites and then remove the sentence that says variance to allow year-round storage? Leave the sentence variance to the requirement of the construction of interior road. Add in conditions that all RVs must be removed when the campground is not in operation.
Seems to be the nod around the table. And sounds like staff has it for you, Holly. Okay. So that is Holly's motion. Any other questions, concerns, comments? I have a conversation going on over here. Dan?
I just asked if she was rewriting the motion.
Yeah, she will. And Greg?
So, Darcy, is there any problem with these year-round campers? Are they a nuisance? Are you concerned about them? You know, I store my camper in a storage facility. It costs me $300 a year, which is a steal. Now, it sounds like this is cheaper, so I might even take it out there if we're allowed to do that. But I think if you were to increase the price of leaving it there all year round, I don't have a problem with these campers being stored there year round myself, as long as our liability policy aligns in place, because now you become a storage facility during the winter months versus a campground. And we just want to make sure that that's read into the liability policy. So that's one concern. So I'm actually fine with the year-round trailers as long as you're comfortable with them being there. Are they, I guess my question is, are they causing a nuisance right now?
No, not at this time. They're not. These people are all from Medicine Hat. They've all been there probably the one couple have been there probably 6 or 7 years. So the last 3 are just new ones that have just come in. The liability, I will agree, has always concerned me over who's liable if something does happen, or if somebody breaks into their trailer, somebody starts it on fire. But I know the discussion with them has always been they take full responsibility. They're the ones leaving them there. I don't know what the deal is with the compounds and how that goes.
Yeah, and that's something that, being an insurance guy, it's something that you want to be upfront with the insurance company in case there is a liability issue. If there is somehow a fire on the property that was the fault of the campground and burns all those trailers, if they weren't told that they're being stored there all year round, there could be a liability issue that the Ag Society could be on the hook for those losses of those trailers if the insurance company wasn't told. So that's one thing that I do caution, but I don't know. I'm okay with the year-round storage as long as it's done properly. I mean, you could probably charge a heck of a lot more than what you are, is what I'm saying.
And I will just extend your comments. The liability doesn't end at the Ag Society because it goes to the landowner, and the county, I believe, is the landowner of this campground. So that liability comes to us eventually. Mr. Hemsing.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, Block X is leased to the hamlet. So actually, the county still basically owns it. We just lease it for 50 years.
Right.
And we maintain it. The county maintains the grass.
Yeah. So I just wanted to be clear with our insurance guy here. Dan.
$150 is a good deal, but you can't go get it because I'm pretty sure you have to have the full season's camping paid for to be eligible to leave it there for the rest of the year. Is that right, Darcy?
Yes, that's correct. And please don't mark me on the 150 because I'm pulling that like this campground part. My mother takes a lot more care of it than I do. I know it's right in that ballpark for the 6 months, but they have to pay up for the other 6 months are camping there prior.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Holly.
Sorry, Darcy, what's your rate for camping for 6 months then?
That's not a question for me.
So we do have a motion, and Shanna Lee, you've made the edits. You read the edits. Are there any further questions? Oh, Darcy, you're looking up. Mr. Hemsing, sorry, I don't know you well enough to. And then I think Ellen has a question.
I would like to hear the motion one more time.
Shanna Lee, thank you.
That the Municipal Planning Commission approve development permit 2023-016 for the operation of a 27-site campground with the addition of 8 more campsites and a variance to the requirement of the construction of an interior road to each campsite on the parcel on lands legally described as Block X, Plan 2123FB, Southeast 6 of 15 of 13, West of 4, subject to conditions.
Was condition D removed? Correct.
Yes, and added that the RVs must be removed when the campsite is not in operation.
Right. Okay. Ellen, you have your question answered? Thank you. Okay. Mr. Hemsing, did you get your question answered? No? Okay. So we have a motion on the floor, and I'm going to call the question if there's no other questions from MPC. All in favor of Holly's motion? Any opposed? That is one opposed. All right, thank you. That is carried. Cheryl. Mr. Hemsing, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in today to answer some of our questions. All right, 7.1. Nope. We are concluded. Other business, post agenda items, there were none. Any reason for in camera? Seeing none. Any questions Yes, please come to the microphone. Please introduce yourself again and by all means ask your question. Thanks.
Just, sorry, my name is Mary Lou Bency, and I just have one quick question. Does the council know when the proposed changes to the animal control bylaw will be on the agenda?
I am not aware of that, and we're MPC.
Oh,
So
sorry.
This is Municipal Planning Commission.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay, Mary Lou. We don't expect you to know all the nuances. But I certainly, we have staff that will follow up with you and let you know, okay? Thanks for the question. Any other questions? And Todd would let us know if there was any in the queue. So I will adjourn this meeting, 10:30 on the dot. Thanks, everybody.